I just turned 25, and to help me determine what I want for the next 10 years of my life, I asked a few people who I admire to write letters to their younger selves to learn from them. This is how that went.
Hi, Wabibs. Lol, yeah, that's actually something guys call you now. Funny because you're actually no longer in contact with the two people who came up with the name. Which brings me to the first point. It's okay to outgrow friends. Some are only meant to last for a season. It's about 8 years later, and it sucks to say, but you'll still be awkward when it comes to meeting new people and making new friends. That's okay though, because you found your tribe now. 6 partners in tears, laughter, wins, criticism, celebration, and endless adventure. You'll love it here. When you turn 18 next year, you'll go through a mild rebellious phase. I'm not here to stop you because a part of me feels like it serves a necessary lesson. Just be careful and take care of yourself. Oh, and by the way, people actually think you're kinda cool now. No, I'm not joking. It's true. I don't know how we got here either. Well, actually, that's a lie. I kinda do. In a few months, you'll audition for a role you really want, but unfortunately, you won't get the part. Keep your head up high and brace yourself for the ride. You know how you picture your dream job? No super early mornings and all? Well, I'll one-up you on that and tell you that you get to do tons of photo shoots and play in makeup, plus make your own hours and get paid for it. You'll still be confused about whether or not it's the right path to take, however dreamy it seems, but I guess only future Maxine knows how that turns out. For now, you get that A like Dad always says, and you'll be able to be whatever you want to be afterwards. Not a doctor though, so you might as well go ahead and drop that biology you're holding on to. You are currently experiencing love, or at least love as you interpret it at the age you are in. They only say date your best friend and it will be this whole bed of rainbows and lollipops. Well, I'm here to tell you some best friends are meant to remain just that. But I guess this is also something that you need to learn for yourself. You'll go through about 2 of such best friends, and it will be incredibly fun to have a partner who knows you so deeply, who you can be 100% yourself with while having so much fun, but they will both end in premium tears. I wish I could tell you figured out this love part, but only time will tell. You'll never guess this part either, but Mom and Dad are actually pretty chill now. I mean, it'll take a while. You still have a few years of having to get home before dark and not wandering too far. You'll think it's not fair because your younger brother will seem to have a bit more freedom than you do. But they care and they want what's best for you. With time, you'll earn their trust and they'll let loose. Just a bit though. I have to love you and leave you now. Remember to always follow your dreams and leave the rest to the universe. Love, Wabosha. Hey guys, and welcome to A Letter to My Younger Self, a podcast that encourages you to work hard, have good intentions, and most importantly, to trust the process. I started this podcast so that I could mainly hear stories from people from angles that you've not necessarily had them from before, because a lot of like the celebrities that we have locally, you guys have had their stories of their way to fame, but no one ever really asks the deeper questions of their childhood. Also, I thought that it could be a learning platform where we can learn from people's past mistakes and, just do better in life. From the podcast, you can expect to hear stories that you have definitely not had before. You can expect to feel uplifted if you're feeling down. You can also expect to basically discover that the points in time where you feel confused and alone, you're not the only one who goes through it, and people have been there, done that, and they overcame. In the letter that I wrote, I wrote it to my 17-year-old self. I actually have written my letter twice. The first time I wrote it was last year as I was turning 24. And then this year I discovered there's a few more things that I'd want to add in there. It was really a process because I was from having a celebration drink. So, first of all, I was at home in my fields playing Adele, because at that age is when Adele really, really hit. So you can imagine all the feels that were there while the letter was being written. But yeah, I think it was very emotional, and you go through this whole journey of thinking of yourself at that age, yeah, like someone once said, it's like therapy. The name Wabibs came from these two guys, Francis and Manolo, who I'm sure are definitely watching this vlog. Manolo is an artist, a gospel artist, and I met Francis through Manolo. We used to be, used to be friends is sounds like tulikosana and now we no longer talk, but really it's just time and we grew apart. So yeah, that's where it came up. Jokingly, there was Wabi and Wabibs is the one that just stuck. I think a lot of people who watch YouTubers think that we're pretty outgoing, very loud, always want to talk to everyone. But really, I feel like it's the opposite thing, because when I'm filming for my YouTube channel, it's usually just me and the camera, no audience. I mean, now with the podcast, unfortunately, I have an audience. But a lot of the YouTubers I've met are very introverted. So you see that thing where they tell you the bug is more scared of you than you are of them. Please interpret it the same way. When you guys are scared to say hi to us, we are probably more terrified of you than you are of us.
Before we continue, I'd like to say a big thank you for all the support that you have shown myself and this podcast so far. If you'd like to support this podcast even more, you can do so by purchasing one of your favorite A Letter to My Younger Self merch. We have journals, and these journals have quotes as well as thought-provoking questions that will be able to guide you in your own personal journey. We also have mugs that look like this. We also have bags, webcam covers, and a lot more. What I will do is I will leave a link down below in the description box where you can go and check this out for yourselves. Now back to the podcast.
When I meet new people, it's not necessarily that that's a lie, human beings are scary, but it's more of, I don't know, I actually don't know what exactly is that terrifying about human beings, but I guess first I'd like to watch and observe and see how people act, and then that's when I can gauge how much of myself I want to give out to you at the moment. So I guess it's that initial part where I'm laid back, relaxed, observing, that might come out as if I'm a bit bitchy when I meet new people most of the time. And I actually didn't realize this until my friend Foy pointed it out. So if we walk into a room and there's a bunch of people, I will probably sit at the farthest end, close to no one, in silence, say nothing for the first few minutes until someone talks to me. But yeah, once I'm warmed up and I get comfortable, then now you can't get me to keep quiet. So yeah. When it comes to the 6 partners in crime, I feel like it's people who you've definitely seen around my vlogs. So anyone who you've seen around my vlogs hanging out, they're definitely not more than 6. So going back to 18, 17-year-old Wabosha, around this time actually was 18, because I feel like it started about my 18th birthday. Like I mentioned, I used to be locked up a lot in the house. I mean, they expected me to go just hapa hivi and nowhere further. I didn't even know how to Java at the time. So really, where am I going without my parents dropping me off anyway? So I think it came the point where my friends are doing all these fun things and I was never allowed to do. So I mean, I know mom and dad, you're watching this. So I used to lie. I used to just lie and go where I was going and come back. Would not recommend, because a couple of times, of course, nimedanganya. Like there's this one story. Oh Lord. I lied. I was coming from town and the matatu broke down and we got a flat tire, and that's why I wasn't home in time. And then the next day, my dad is like, oh, you are coming from town. Why did the matatu break down? So we're on the road and I'm like, yeah, the matatu broke down here. And he's like, matatu za town atazipitiangi hapa. So it was a whole mess. So basically, I think that's a slight rebellious phase that I had. So during this phase, I feel like my brother was getting a lot more freedom than I was at the time. I mean, you could say it's because I'm a girl, I'm the firstborn. Firstborns, we always bear that cross of everything tough, and then suddenly when the secondborn arrives, the noose is not as tight. So basically, he got away with a lot more. He got away with going out at an earlier age than I did. Definitely do not think it's fair, but I mean, in the society that we live in, as a girl, you just end up being guarded more than the boy child.
You can catch all the other episodes by visiting the website listed in the description bar. There, you will find my conversations with my other guests, Chimano, Eli Mwenda, Safia Abdi, Winnie Okoth, Karun, Foy Wamboi, and Wandia Gishuru. Each guest shares a letter to their younger self, why those moments were impactful in their lives, the lessons they learned, and the vision they have for their future self. Click the link in the description bar to support this podcast and watch season 1 of A Letter to My Younger Self.